So reportedly, when I was checking out SportsIllustrated.com, the Clippers are interested in another 76ers player not named James Harden. And, the player that I'm speaking on is a player who is a defensive guy, who is a 3-and-D guy, but he is a little bit older, so I definitely have a little bit of questioning when it comes to the Clippers' decision in wanting him at this point in his career. But the player I'm talking about is none other than P.J. Tucker. Now, P.J. Tucker is one of those rough, tough guys who has an edge to him, who definitely plays defense at the highest level, who has played at the highest level, who has won in this league. I believe he actually has won a championship, I believe, or been in, some championship. He's been in big games, in his career and stuff like that. And PJ Tucker definitely, has, helped teams. I think he actually won a championship with Milwaukee, I think, a couple of seasons ago when Giannis and them won it. But he's definitely one of those hard-nosed, hard-grinding type players who I think the Clippers really would, benefit from if he was a little bit younger. Because my thing is, I understand the Clippers might have interest in PJ Tucker, but him being 38 years old, playing as a 3-and-D guy, that's probably not much better or not much of an upgrade from a Marcus Morris, who the Clippers are definitely trying to get rid of in the trade options and what they have in this off season. So when you think about that, why would you go after PJ Tucker if he's 38 years old, going on 39 years of age, and he's probably not as good defensively as he was maybe 3, 4, 5 seasons ago. Whereas now he's still decent, but he's not the type of guy that's really going to make that much of an impact, especially with the Clippers, because when you think about the Clippers, with all the depth that they have and all the pieces that they have, it's hard to really, fit him in and give him a lot of substantial minutes when you got, the youthful guys coming off the bench like Terrence Mann and people like that who basically are 3-and-D guys. Basically, Terrence Mann, he can guard, anybody on the perimeter. He can pretty much defend at a high level, and he's very, very energetic, much younger. And on top of that, like I said, his 3-point shot isn't that bad. I think he shot around 37 or 36%, something like that, from three. At least one point in the season, Terrence Mann was shooting something like that this past season, but he can shoot 3-pointers at a decent clip as well. So my point is, when I look at the Clippers, they don't really need a PJ Tucker. I mean, I'm not saying that his defense wouldn't be warranted or needed for any team, but the Clippers got Rocco. They got defense. And matter of fact, Rocco is probably just as good as defensively as PJ Tucker is. He's longer, he's more athletic, and on top of that, he can knock down threes, something that PJ Tucker does. For PJ Tucker, he mainly knocks down threes more so from the corners than anywhere else, because that's the position that he's in most of the time when I've watched him play. But at the same time, like I said, with his age, that could be a problem, because the Clippers don't need to really go after somebody damn near 40 years old who might can give you one good season, maybe. And then on top of that, with all the depth that you have, he would be almost like what Rocco is, Robert Covington. Robert Covington is a defensive guy, 3-and-D guy the Clippers have on their bench that barely gets any playing time. You see what I'm saying? Because the Clippers have so much depth. It's only one basketball to pass around, and that's a problem, especially when everybody wants to contribute and everybody wants to be a part of the the process and everything. So I don't really understand why the Clippers would take this or even think about PJ Tucker at this point, because like I said, you don't have much room for him. And if you give up too much for him, and let's say he gets injured or something like that, hypothetically, well, if he gets injured hypothetically in the process of the Clippers trying to go for a championship, that's going to ruin their chances, especially if they gave away 2 or 3 pieces to get a PJ Tucker and maybe a old washed up James Harden, who really never shown up in big games, even in his prime. So he's not going to show up in big games probably, in his elder stage of his career. So it's like what you're getting out the situation from the 76ers, it'll be a win-win for them and maybe a lose-lose for you, because the reports out now, that I've been speaking on, that you've heard me speak about the James Harden thing and the trade and everything with the Clippers, but it also involves, now the reports are involving PJ Tucker. So it's like, when you look at it from that standpoint, you're getting two older players, one older superstar who really wasn't good in big moments in his younger days, so he's definitely not going to be better in big moments now. We saw that with Philadelphia. He had a couple of good games where he played pretty good, but other than that, I mean, honestly, if he was the James Harden he was on Houston, they would have beat the Celtics and went on to play the Miami Heat in the conference finals. And really, that's what should have happened anyway, especially if you got the MVP. But at the same time, you got to have everybody else show up and play their part as well. And, they did up until a certain point, but it just wasn't good enough to win it. And that's always been the MO on James Harden. He has talent around him. He's always had talent around him in Houston. Well, maybe not always, but I mean, he had Chris Paul. He had Russell Westbrook. I mean, he had good role players, Clint Capella, decent guys. I think he had PJ Tucker too, honestly, on the Houston Rockets. I mean, he's had, some very good talent around him, just not been able to, win anything. And that's the thing with James Harden there. But the PJ Tucker thing, like I said, is very interesting because he is a good 3-and-D guy. He has helped the team win a championship. Well, he has been a part of a winning organization before, so he knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to be a champion. But, age and father time definitely matters. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go out and get a guy that's older who you expect to go out there and give you one or two good seasons, and he might give you the production of a Marcus Morris, which you already have and you're trying to get rid of. So, I mean, the Clippers, honestly, I think if they're really looking at PJ Tucker, I mean, they damn near better get him for free because, I mean, I don't really see no reason going after an elder player like that who's not going to give you that many years and who might get injured going forward here because of his age and not be able to stay healthy and on the floor due to his age and father time creeping up on him. So, I mean, the Clippers, as I said, the organization, they got to learn to go after the right pieces. They got to learn to go after pieces going to help them win. And this is the one thing I always said about the Clippers organization. They always had good players, but they never had good decision makers. And that goes from the coaches all the way up to the top in the front office, because you got to get players in there that really fit, you know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to put a team together and put the pieces together where you can really actually do something. And I feel like the Clippers can, but at the same time, of course, injuries with their two superstars is their main thing. But at the same time, they got all the pieces they need. I don't understand trading for any other role players. Stop trading for role players. Stop looking in that direction. Just keep what you have, run it back, and see what your chances are going into next season. But leave any comments in the comment section, and we'll talk about it.